What's up everybody, I'm Abatage and welcome back to Banished, where we have a nice, simple settlement being built before our very eyes. We have our woodcutter who's been working their butt off to get the wood done. So we've got a nice stockpile of firewood ready for the winter that's coming. That's right, winter's coming. It's now early autumn. We've got our farmers working away and harvesting the crops. Got a nice stockpile of corn. Got some hide coats and some tools. We've got a few houses going. Up here we've got our forester chopping down trees. We've got a nice little house here of foresters. Probably do with another house over this way, but at the moment we don't need more houses. And if we build too many houses too quickly, that's when everything goes pear-shaped. We've had a few people grow up. We've got 2 labourers at the moment. A couple of builders who aren't being used, but they will be. So, yeah. Let's get this blacksmith into the groove, because we're going to need him. Or her. Depends on whoever takes up the job, really. So let's build the blacksmith right here. Behind the original houses. So everyone will start doing that. Got a good stockpile of stone at the moment, it looks like. A lot of firewood too, which is brilliant. Everyone's going to need some firewood. Let's check out some inventories. Yeah, they've got some food and some firewood. They've got plenty of food and some firewood. Plenty of food. Plenty of food. And the last house, which is over here near the forester's hut. Not bad, not bad. Now the other thing we're going to need, which we'll put right here, is a herbalist. There's only a limited number of things. There's the woodcutter, who chops the firewood for everyone to burn in their houses and stay warm. There's the forester, who chops down trees and replants them, and it's very sustainable, actually, the forestry mechanic. There's the herbalist, who gathers herbs and can help with everyone's health. The blacksmith, who creates tools for everyone to use while they're working. The tailor, who will create clothes to keep them warm in the winter as well. A tavern, which makes everyone happy, but you need orchards with fruit to brew alcohol from for a tavern to work. You can create mines, but they take a lot of people to run, and quarries, which take a lot of people to run. But mines are the only way you can mine iron and coal, other than picking up off the ground. Like this dark stuff here is iron. And quarries are the only way you can mine stone, other than like these stones that are on the ground that we picked up some last time as well. There's a forester going out doing some stuff. She's rocking it. Old Nora. Nora is working. And look at them go. I like the level of simulation that you get in this game. It's quite good. Let's plonk the herbalist right there. But we want to get through our first winter before we start building more houses. So I want to see how well our food storage kind of holds out. So we've only got 1,200 in there at the moment. And we might need to come over here to the lake and chuck down at least one fishing dock, but that's a long way for them to travel. I mean, we'll have to start building it out this way anyway, just to keep it together, because they will lose hunger and warmth and health and everything as they travel between places, which is why we have this tool here, which will tell us. So our farmers are all coming from these houses. Our woodcutter comes from there. Our builder at the moment, who's working on this, comes from there. Forester, we've got one forester coming from here and another one coming from that house. And similarly, you can do it on the house as well, so you can track where everyone's going. And it's now late autumn, and the snow is beginning to set in. Let's get a blacksmith on the job. We only need one. Who got that job? Oh, this dude around here. Cool. Let's just plonk down a dirt road. because they do travel faster on dirt roads, so if they're trying to get to places, they'll travel by the road as much as they want, or not. And they'll actually get there quicker, so that's a good thing. And let's speed up a little just to bust through this, because there's not much we can do right now, unfortunately. And I really want to see if we get through the winter fine, and, you know, not too many people die or anything like that, then we'll build another house up here as well, because I think that'll be useful for these herbalists and foresters and that sort of thing. And we'll look at some alternative food sources as well. Because what we can do is we can build a crop field, which is what we've got here. We can build an orchard, which is a fruit orchard, but it takes a few years to actually start fruiting. And it's an orchard, so you've got to wait for trees to grow and that sort of thing. A pasture for livestock, but we need livestock to be able to do that. So essentially, that's hard to do until you've got a trading post and you can trade for livestock. Fishing docks are pretty good, but they don't produce a whole lot. Hunting cabins are really good as well, because they produce leather and meat. And you need leather for tailoring and creating clothing for everybody. And gatherers' huts are also really good, because they just collect roots and berries and do all that kind of stuff. And they're actually quite productive as well. I've had a lot of success with them in the past. Okay, but right now we need a herbalist. So let's chuck one in there. We only really need one at this stage, I think. We've got a full complement of foresters, because we really need to get that log limit up so we can keep making firewood. And I like seeing the woodcutter with this symbol over the hut, because that means that they've reached the limit of firewood. So it means they're keeping up with it, which is great. Because ultimately, if you've got people using everything and you keep running out of stuff, that's when people get sick and hungry, and yeah, in fact our food is quite low. And it's middle of winter and we've only got 224 food left. It's getting quite low. We're going to have to do something about that. Let's plonk in... Yeah, we don't have a lot of people to spare at the moment though. Although we could cut off a couple of foresters, I guess. I reckon we'll put down a hunting cabin. And we'll plonk it right next to the forester's hut. So we'll plonk that there. And for good measure, we'll plonk in a house, because we'll need some more children being born so they can grow up and be workers. What a nice little utilitarian concept. But yeah, this is where the balancing act begins. Because we are running out of food very quickly, and it's late winter, so hopefully that means we'll get some food soon, because this crop will get planted again, but the crop's not going to get harvested until probably well after summer. So we've got 2 seasons to go before we get more crop. More food, I guess. So this hunter's cabin's going to come in handy, that's for sure. Now let's see if with this priority thing we'll actually make it a higher priority. Because I'd rather them finish that before they finish that house. So what's our forester been doing? They've gathered 127 logs, 30 iron and 27 stone. And the iron and stone is because they'll be clearing out this as they go, because the forester plants trees as they chop them down. So they tend to clear out the entire area that is their domain of stone and of trees and of everything, really. So that's cool. Got a few building jobs on the go. We've got everyone kind of ticking along nicely. Our farmers are planting their seeds. You can see them working away in the field there, getting that corn in for next season. Woodcutter's just going nuts. And we didn't run out of fuel that winter, so that was quite good. And we also didn't run out of food either, but we are very soon going to run out of food at this rate. Because people got to keep eating whether it's winter or not, but the fact that you don't produce much during winter, that's enough to kind of, yeah, make me worried. Let's just speed it up a little because these things take time. Working away in the rain. I want this hunter's cabin to go up so we can start getting some more food into the place. Ah, here we go. It's going to start being actually built now that all the resources are there. Oh, we've got some medicine that have been gathered by our herbalist, which is nice. What have they been doing? They gathered 12 herbs last season, and they've already gathered 12 this season. They didn't have a full season last time, so that was always going to happen. Oh, this house is going to be built soon as well. Nice. So we're going to need, I think each hunting cabin can have about 4 workers. So we might have to take some people off building once that's built and get some workers done, because we just ran out of food. So people are going to start getting hungry. Our blacksmith has reached their limit, which is nice. We've got all the tools we can handle right now. Our stockpile's looking pretty good, 60%, that's not bad. The barn is looking very empty. No food in the barn. Ah, hunter's cabin is built. Fantastic. Ah, 3. We can handle 3. Let's pop 1 hunter in. Let's drop a forester. Pop another hunter in. And we could probably drop another forester, actually. We've got plenty of logs on the go. Well, I say plenty. We're using them up as we make. But these hunters are going to do some good work. Yeah, this person's hungry. But let's drop down. Let's have 1 builder, and we can max out our hunters. And then as some kids grow up, they can go back to working as foresters and that sort of thing. Because I don't like having 0 labourers. Because then you really have to keep track of when people, you know, who lives and dies and that sort of thing. Because if you have a labourer, essentially that means that when someone dies, that labourer will take their job automatically. Which is very useful, especially later in the game when you've got, you know, bigger populations. Because it's very hard to keep track of them. And the whole game is basically keeping track of them. But hey. Now, why have I built these far away? It's mainly because of this aura of the forester's area that it's going to focus on. Because in this area, the forestry folk will plant lots of trees. And the herbalist, who is within this aura kind of as well, will... Herbs grow underneath established trees and that sort of thing. So once the forest is all cut down, they're not going to find many herbs. But in the meantime, while it's large and there's a lot of good production going on, they'll find heaps of stuff. Like all these little mushrooms under here and that sort of thing. They'll grab. And same with hunter. Hunters will operate within an aura, and it doesn't really matter so much about the density of trees and that sort of thing. Not as much as the herbalist. But they do like to have an aura that's not filled with a town. So if the hunter was here, there'd be all this area that he can't hunt in, so better to stick him out in the middle of the woods. And that's why I've got a road kind of just sticking out here, and they're on their own, and there's a few houses. I'll probably put some more houses around here as well, because we've essentially got 4, 5, 6, we've got about 8 workers who are going to be potentially focused on this area. But you can see we've got some food coming in as well now, because the hunters are working away, which is fantastic. That's really exciting, actually. Oh, they've brought in 200 venison and 6 leather. That is fantastic. Everyone's munching away on some venison. Oh, we've got 87 sitting in the storage right here. Bet they've all got some at their houses. No, they've still got corn in their house. That's all right. Bet Bet you these guys have got some venison. No. Where's all the venison gone? Ah, this house. They're taking all the venison. So a new child has been born. In this new house. And this house there's a child and 3 adults. So basically they will stay in the same house as they grow and become adults and workers. But they won't have a kid until they've got a house where they can move out of their current house and move into a new one. And then obviously make the babies. Our storage pile here is getting fairly full, but that's cool. It's mostly firewood, which is what we need. There's a whole bunch of iron there as well. What's our blacksmith making? See, on a lot of them you can choose what products they create. It's fairly limited, but it's a nice little bit of customization for when you want to upgrade stuff and use different resources. So this one at the moment is creating iron tools, which requires a log and iron, or you can make steel tools which require log, iron and coal. But we don't have a mine at the moment, so we won't be doing any coal. So he's just making some iron tools. And that's cool, he's keeping everyone in tools, so it means they'll be able to work faster and more efficiently. And that's what you want really, isn't it? Wow, our food is really low. We're not producing that much of it either. We're gonna have to... Yeah, we've almost finished that crop off. I really don't want to go that far out to get fish, but I think we're gonna have to. Let's go... food... Or we could just build a gatherer's hut. That could be good. Yeah, let's get a gatherer's hut. And let's put it... let's put it up this side. Maybe. What about there? How does that feel? Yeah, that works. It's a little bit awkward for them to get to, but I reckon right there. Cool, we're doing it. Let's pop the road down as usual. Right there. Now we've had someone grow up, which is nice. Our food resources are low. We have a spare labourer working away, so let's get them onto forestry. Even though our log supply is going up. So they'll be transferred anyways pretty soon to gatherer. And we're going to have to build... Nah, I think we're good for our storage barn. We might need another stockpile, which we can put around here perhaps. Let's do that. Let's go... Because this stuff is just basically a good place to store things in the interim, so it's good to put... I think it's good anyway to put stockpiles and warehouses and barns, storage barns, near production areas, because then they don't have to travel as far when they get resources and that sort of thing. So we're going to get some logs filling up here because that's pretty much the only production that uses a stockpile. Everything else will have to come over to the barn. We have got no food. This is going to be a tough winter. It's already late autumn. Hopefully the gatherer hut will help with that. But this is Banished, everyone. I really like the detail though. I like how everyone is properly simulated and they actually go about their day and do their jobs and that sort of thing. It is a little bit, you know, smoke and mirrors, because if you assign a job to someone, they will go to basically the nearest job, but they'll stay with it. So like whoever lives in this house will probably always work around here, so there's not really much you can do about that. But that's the point of having the houses here, because then they don't have to go so far. Alright, let's slow this down for a second. Now, we can have 4 gatherers, which would be fantastic. But right now that's not going to happen because we don't have... Oh, we could drop off a couple of foresters. and make them work as gatherers. So that'll bring in some more food. And we really need food. Oh, our firewood is low. Where's our woodcutter? What are you doing? Wow. Let's raise the limit on our firewood so that perhaps we need to stock up a little bit more. So population is currently 15 adults and 7 children, which is pretty cool, ultimately. Oh. Our herbalist has reached their limit, so that's nice. Shows they're doing what they came to do. Our hunter, 520 venison last season, not bad. Got a whole bunch of people living around here. How's our gatherer going? Yeah, getting a few things. Let's get everyone... I kind of want to clear out this stone and everything, but I don't think we have the manpower at the moment. Or the people power, or, you know, whatever's politically correct today. But we got to our second winter already. How cool is that? It's very, winter's a difficult beast to live through. And we have very little food. So you're kind of expecting to not live through, not for everyone not to live through this. Some people, I hope most people will, but before too long people will start dying. And that's just the way it goes, unfortunately. Especially as we have grown a little bit with our houses and that sort of thing, because we really need to support these industries. But we're in a spot now where pretty much we should be able to just fill up the current jobs that we have, and that we should be able to subsist on that for a time. So it'll take a little bit of growth to get there, and hopefully it'll be enough to support the growth that it requires to have all those workers. So we shall find out in the next episode when we come out of winter and we start playing with the population. So thank you so much for watching this episode of Banished. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you in the next episode. Check the description for links, all that good stuff. Have a play yourself. It turns out differently every time because the maps are different, the people are different, everything's different, and it's a really good game for wasting some time, let me tell you. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.